Hello and welcome to the Socially Numb Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Leahey. I haven't been playing video games lately. I had a few projects, video editing projects, and if you've ever video edited, you know they take up quite a bit of time. So I haven't actually been playing video games, so I don't really have any to talk about this week. I can go through another project. So continuing with the Science Olympiad, I brought one in last week, rockets, I think. This week, another one of the experiments we did was a friction experiment. And what that is, it's kind of like if you've ever heard of the Pine Derby or Pine Boxcar Derby or whatever they are, where they have children build little wooden cars and they have to go down a slope, and whoever goes the farthest wins whatever the contest is. So it's kind of like a distance contest over rocky terrain. So like the first one, the slope might just be very slippy. Like it might be floor tile. So once the car goes down the slope, if the tires aren't gripping that, it's not going to get enough speed to go anywhere once it hits the floor. Usually the end is always tile. So like there will be a ramp. It could be a wooden ramp. It could be a carpeted ramp. It could be whatever to help get the car going. So basically, without the help of ball bearings or some type of bearing to help run the tires smooth, the children have to just come up with a car that will go far. They could use anything they want. Like, I don't know if it's in the picture, but we had people create wheels out of CDs. A lot of them just have like the stock wooden tires from the school kit. I think that's what you'll see a lot of in the couple pictures that I do have, are just cars built with the wooden piece set that the school provides. But there were some other ones. If you think about some of the ones that have like mousetrap cars, if you've ever heard of those, where they have an experiment where the mousetrap powers the car, and then it kind of goes, well, this one's more based on friction, so you need like a bigger tire to cover more ground if, let's say, a piece of sandpaper slowing it up, or like it in the middle of the ramp, if it hits some carpet, it will bounce a little bit. You kind of need some type of shock system to keep the car rotating smoothly down the ramp, and you don't know what the ramp looks like. You just know it's going to be a big ramp. So normally, like, it's a ramp that's made up of different pieces of equipment. And I don't even know if I don't think this was even used in the competition, the friction part. I think it ended up just being a car down a ramp. How far did it go? So that's the experiment that I'm bringing in for this week. I think I have maybe one more of those, something else. I'm not a little bit too sure. Because I don't really have any video games this week, I can also bring in just a little funny tidbit or piece that I have from the original podcast. I've launched a lot of them about the concerts where we recorded live, and we did some concert recordings. Well, we also tried to do a studio show the first time, and with that, what I was looking to do was have more of like you need to have people on consistently onto the podcast to do this. So we tried to do it, and we recorded some tidbits, but this is one where I played a prank on my friend's girlfriend. She thought that someone was stalking her. So basically the premise is she thinks that someone's stalking her on Facebook, I think. I can't remember because I'm doing this blind without listening to the clip. But I will be putting the clip on the end of the show so that you can hear it, or at least in this little part here. So the clip, she thinks she's being stalked, and she wants to know if, it might have been text messages, she wants to know if I can trace them, because I'm a computer scientist. So hey, you can find out who's hacking my phone or sending me these weird messages or whatever. So I go ahead and I set them up because I know where my friend works. He's like a delivery guy. So I set them up to draw a map. I just take a map. I'd open it up in like Paint, I think at the time, or GIMP or something, some photo editing software. And I create a map of this location around like the city where she lives. And I take just little dots, kind of like the end waypoints that like Google Maps use, like that little arrow. And I just take one of those icons and I put it on the map along his route where he's stopping. So like I made it so it looked like she was getting messages from my friend, her boyfriend, that were being creepy. So basically she was complaining that someone was sending her creepy messages, I think is what the premise was. So I just pretended that it was him. So I sent her the map. I said, hey, I was able to find the locations of those. Here, I don't know what you want to do with it. I don't know if this will help you narrow down who you think it could be. Because obviously this person has to know you. So what happens is she gets it and she's like baffled. And I don't think it landed that it was his location. She was just like, oh, well, that's kind of odd. Like it's going from the same place that he goes. But I don't think she placed it that it was a setup and that it actually was her boyfriend's work route. I don't know if she even knew that. But that's it. You can see his reaction. I know some of these are annoying, but I wanted to put them out there anyway. We had them. It's sitting on my thing. It's called the map or the trace. She wanted me to trace the location. I faked it so that it looked like it was her boyfriend that was being weird because, hey, some boyfriends are weird. So I thought it would be funny. She, of course, overreacted like I thought, and so it did turn out to be funny. Now, I don't know. I think she is on the call whenever we call about the podcast show. So I think she's on here, but I'm not 100% sure what all this entails. So as long as I can keep it up, we'll put it up. If they want to take it down, I guess she could take it down for the show, but I doubt that. But that's pretty much the extra add-on that I have for the show today. Now, other than that, I have been live streaming. I think I mentioned it, that Twitch was kind of just like mooching off. It's kind of like, so when YouTube first came out, it was the only site for video uploads pretty much that was successful and that worked. That is why it had so many people putting content there. They would put content and share it with their friends. And so it took off. One guy goes viral. Two guys go viral. A couple guys went viral, like PewDiePie. And they were doing videos all the time. Kind of like a little video diary, a little news show. That's what they do. Well, I never really got into that. And that YouTube kind of was its own standalone thing. Now streaming comes out and everyone wants you to use their platform. They don't want YouTube to keep having this monopoly. So I streamed on YouTube Live a few times. And I don't think YouTube has a good system for live streaming. I think to stream live on YouTube, you have to have dedicated fans that are going to be on your Twitter or checking your channel every time. So what we've been doing over on the Southbound Sports Show, the other show that I've been moving and trying a lot of things with because I actually have consistent guests, is we've been doing live streams and we tried it out on YouTube. And the returns just weren't there. It was telling me that we had 15 viewers. Could have been different for people. Might not have been. I think that was our most. A couple times we only had a handful, like 2 or 3. But to me, it was hard to find the stream. So if they didn't go on our Twitter or Facebook, which I don't even think I put it out on Facebook. So if they didn't go out on our Twitter and subscribe to the show, there's no way for them to find it. YouTube doesn't lend itself to finding live content. Even like the music, like they try to push out YouTube Music or YouTube Red to get rid of ads. Hey, that's all fine and great and stuff. But what you need is a way to help promote content. They're promoting the same couple channels. I can't exit them out. And I know that's part of their strategy. So that's one of my frustrations with YouTube and why I don't really use it as much to find videos, because their recommended channels are things I'm not interested in. Like I'm not interested in watching prank channels where it looks like the guy cut it together from a junk cell phone and he just puts a bunch of wows, yeah, like a bunch of yells over it. He's yelling, he's overreacting. That's not my thing. So I should be able to X out, like, hey, this channel's been recommended to you. I'm like, yeah, I'm not into that channel. I'm going to X out of that. Well, 3 days later, it shows back up. Like, there's no way to be like, put this on my block list. I don't want to see this. And that's disheartening. So we tried YouTube. I also tried Twitch at the same time, streaming video games, because I didn't want to be an outlier on the show. Twitch, kind of the same thing. You get a couple people tuning in, and that's pretty much it. So, I mean, YouTube for hosting the videos is great after the fact. But for live streaming, I found it definitely lacking. Twitch was a bit better, but again, it's set up more along the lines of, from what I've read, and I've talked to a few people that actually do it, it's set up more to try to get contests on, give away, try to keep a chat. You can use bots. Well, I really don't want to have bots and fake people promoting my channel, because I want it to be more of an organic thing, kind of like word of mouth, if it's a sports show. I mean, we have some content, some things, a unique way of looking at things, I would think, enough to go ahead and do it. So, one platform streaming, I haven't tried Facebook or Instagram Live yet. So I'll put that out there. Now, whenever you promote yourself, so I have noticed, so like we've run some just a little small promotion on social media to see what happens. Got a good bit of followers because we're kind of just using an RSS feed to push out latest sports news mixed in with our own content, which is great. Because, hey, we're linking to ESPN and, like, we're breaking news because it's pulling the latest from their feed. And, I mean, we're underneath the limit of whatever system we're using to do it. So it's no big deal, like, that I'm pushing late content or whatever. But it's a good system. Now, I do notice, like, once we start pushing out a ton of different updates and live contents, we do lose a lot of followers because they probably saw it from the promotion and think, hey, these guys are sort of an aggregator, so it's kind of like hurting, like that early promotion, to try to get some initial followers on our accounts. It kind of hurts because they probably think we're an aggregator, and now we're putting out this live content. We always had a podcast, but it was small, and it's gone through a bunch of different variations. I've always felt like we've had good talking points, but it hasn't been enough to be a standalone show. Now we have that. We're there. So I've been trying to get them set up with a Reddit. Now I know my cousins are on there. They help me with the show, so they can go on and do whatever they want for the Reddit. Post content. I think I just have them posting links now to our old stuff. But that's where the show's at. And so I found that Periscope, when we stream the live show, so what we do is we stream a live show every Tuesday at 9 p.m. So if you want to hear my content, watch that. It's longer form. I know this podcast has been dwindling in length. I've been trying to keep it longer. But that is pretty much a lot better on Periscope. The live form content, the podcast, I can still get my thoughts on. Not so much video game and stuff, more sports, which this podcast used to be heavy. I mean, I wasn't even talking that much about video games. And to be honest, it's tough to listen to a podcast on video games. I know we have some good bit of downloads whenever I talk about certain games. I haven't been talking about the latest games. And yeah, it would be easier just for me to do a quick YouTube video, put it up there on me reviewing the game, instead of doing the long form podcast. So there has been some concern or some thought on my end on doing that. I mean, a podcast for video games is good if you have multiple people. I'm not able to get people who are interested in talking about video games onto the show. So if you know someone who is, have them reach out to me, because it could keep the show going. I have been doing the other one on Skype, but I'm leaning towards possibly wrapping this show up on episode 50, along with the Dad Strength, which I'm not sure if Dad Strength is feeding into the iTunes thing. I don't know what the problem is, because I think what I did is I messed up with the apostrophe when I changed names. So it was Socially Numb Presents Dad Strength. So now it's Richie Leahey's Dad Strength, and I think the apostrophe messed up my feed. So I've been working and sending some messages. At first I didn't hear anything through the regular contact form, but I'm trying to get that taken care of. So there have been Dad Strength episodes. You just might not have been seeing them. And I'll be posting those up. They might be coming up one or two at a time as I figure it out over the next couple weeks. But those will be caught up, and I'm probably going to do the same thing. So Dad Strength, once the list was up, it was always going to end after 50 episodes. I mean, unless I could father another kid, but it's going to be some of the same stuff. I could have like an addendum. Hey, here's what's going on, an update. Maybe 1 or 2 episodes. I think that might be cool for people who stumble upon the feed later. Like, hey, yeah, we had another kid. This is what's going on. But I'll see from that. For right now, Socially Numb has been the more popular podcast than Dad Strength. It's had the better downloads. But, like I said, it's not enough to have me keep doing it. I think I get better return on YouTube, just videos. And that makes sense just because of the form. People want to actually see the video games and you playing them. People aren't going to listen to a podcast and then go play a game. So it's hard for me to do on just the audio only. So keep an eye out for that. Episode 50 might be the wrap episode, the last one, the wrap up, I guess. We are on 45 maybe, I don't know, 46. So we are closing in, and I still have other games, but I've been streaming them, or at least putting them up on YouTube after. I might do some gaming now that I closed my Twitch channel. I might try YouTube Live again, just from PlayStation, and see what happens. And if it's a no-go, if no one's watching, I'll just record and upload the videos later. It's usually easier, and it's better quality if I do it that way instead of streaming. So I might do that, so keep an eye out for that. You can follow me on there, Richie Leahey. I am going to be going through this. I have a couple more projects I'm going to talk about on this show. A couple more video games, hopefully. I've been moving all my blog stuff together into one big site. Like I've talked about, I tried to break it out to get the show more noticed, but it didn't really help. I actually had more of a boost whenever I put everything together. I think because people liked, hey, I like this, maybe I'll like this other one. Well, that's what I'm looking at. I also have some research for Southbound Sports that I've been putting up, 1 or 2 at a time, on team research, kind of just like a little tidbit on each team and how much their payroll is affected, how many championships they've won, and how that kind of looks in comparison to that. But that's it. I'm not going to be going, I don't know how long I'll be going on these last couple episodes, if in fact I do go with that. If you like the show and you want it to keep going, like I said, if you want to talk video games, let me know. Send me a message. You can DM me on Twitter or Facebook or however you get this. Use the contact email for the show. It doesn't matter. I have had people reach out, but you can do that and just let me know what you think. If you'd like to keep it going, I know there are a lot of other video game podcasts with more people, so it's hard to just hear one person talk about it. Comedy, it works, like Bill Burr, Jim Florentine, but for video games, I think it's hard unless you're just watching them actually play the video game. So that's the direction I'm probably moving, and I can do a lot more tech things because I had talked about doing a podcast on tech, but unless I was doing a quick hit on Periscope where I was covering the tech and maybe showing it on a live stream video, it just doesn't make as much sense to do a podcast. But if you like my content, for sure, check out the Southbound Sports. I know it's national sports coverage, lean a little bit towards Pittsburgh teams, but it is national sports coverage. We get into a lot of topics, have guests on. It's a live format show, so hopefully you would enjoy that. But check that out. Let me know if you would like to come on and be a guest. Let me know about that too. And I will see you next week. Thanks for listening.
You had a Facebook.
Yeah.
You asked to run a trace.
I did.
And what happened with that?
He showed me. I have it. I have the trace actually right here.
But did you? Did he run that for real?
He showed me. Look, Rich, I'm not
Good.
smart.
Give me a recap, dude. I want a
I can
recap.
show you a recap. What he showed me. I don't care. It's not a big deal. Is it?
No, explain the whole thing so we have it on record.
Okay. He said, "Do you want you want me to run a trace of her pictures where they were kept?" And he called me and he said, "I ran a trace in some kind of weird program. He didn't seem like it was legal. Listen, hear my story. Don't laugh. and he called me and he said basically, you can go in, he made it like this. You can go in the woods and you can take a snapshot of a picture, and GPS takes a picture satellite of where it was taken. And these were where it was taken. It was a short conversation. That was about it. That's what he told me. I'm not that smart, and that's pretty much what he told me.
What if I told you I made that?
What do you mean that's what you told? What do you mean you made that?
I made that picture.
You made the picture up.
Yeah, it's all fake, dude.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, I made that.
No, you didn't.
All right, let's hold on the record. I made a fake tracking map because I thought it would be funny.
Are you kidding me? Come on, Rich. Why are you doing this to me? You're lying.
Tons of funny here.
No. No. You did not make that up. How did you make that up? Oh, you gotta try. Oh my God, stop. No. And you made talk to me. I asked him about that. No, you didn't. You didn't do that. There's no way. Why did you do that? He said he had software that he could do that.
I told him what to tell you.
There's no such thing. You're... you guys are fucking idiots. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? I told her to talk to people. I said, you gotta be careful what the fuck. I said, be careful what the fuck you talk to. I said, you can't. Dude, after that happened, I told I said, you can't talk to these. I said, you can't. I said, you gotta be. Hey, where are you at? Yeah, you're at house party, dog. Did you and Rich misconstrue that story about me? Did you make that fake map?
Dude, if you're here, like, I don't know what you're saying, dude. All I hear is jumble.
Well, then why the fuck would you pick up the phone if you can't talk to me?
What do you mean, what are you talking about?
If you're gonna talk to me, why don't you go somewhere where you can talk to me? I can't hear you. Why don't you go outside?
Let's come outside here.
Good stuff.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm asking you, whenever you looked up that stuff about me, about her getting a fucking, her website and stuff, like, her people, like, finding her on Facebook and that, the catfish stuff, Rich told me he made that up.
What are you talking about?
That stuff about Rich said you made that up, about you, that catfish stuff, you made that up, that whole map, all that shit, you guys made that up, you fucking dicks.
Oh, we made it up?
Yeah, you made it up.
I didn't make up anything.
Rich made it up. You don't be a dick, dude.
How do you... Well, alright, first of all, I'm going back in, but you're asking yourself to believe Rich.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave Rich over you, dude, hayseed.
Alright, dude. Just keep believing Rich. You'll get forward. Later, man.
Dude, what the fuck is this guy calling? What the fuck is he getting pussy? Dude, what the fuck, dude? I don't like that. I don't like that sound. I don't like that stuff. I don't like what the fuck. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?